And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Basilisk from land of Italy. And of course, traveling and competing and staying in Korea for GSL. Let's go. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Whew. As we are settling in and calming things down. Some storms would have made a great difference. If you recall, what we were trying to emphasize is that SOS, he was behind from early on in that game. That's why he struggled, not just to, whether it was taking into Storm or taking into a second Robo and Disruptors, it was all very late. It was all very late because he was, again, barely hanging on when it comes to getting to a 4th base and getting into a maxed out army. It was a really stressful game there for SOS just because of that early game advantage that Cure had. So yeah, he was hanging on there, which was impressive, but again, as we were emphasizing throughout the course of the game, his army was not scaling up to what Cure had. Was not able to keep up, but here we go. We're now getting to our next series, into our ZvZ. So far, mirrored builds, Hatch Gas Pool out of Reynor, Hatch Gas Pool out of Solar. Opener so far as they should be. We'll see if either player does end up skipping their Baneliness. We'll see if either player does try to stay on 2 bases even as well. Based on the openers, we should be getting to a 3rd base though, into a standard game. No one did go for a gasless opener. No one went for an earlier pool or a later gas. So far, everything is looking normal. And welcome one all to Tokamak. We have spoken on this map in the past, how this map is one of the more standard, one of the more larger macro defensive maps in the map pool, so we often see longer and later games. Early on, we can assume that we're heading towards Roach v Roach, or even Muta versus Muta. But again, we'll see if either player does deviate from the norm, initially. For now, we are saturating. We have our initial clash. Yo, Reynor getting 1 extra shot. Oh no! Reynor, he will win this fight. Just barely. In this small little skirmish. Not the biggest of deals, but this will actually delay any kind of link scout from Solar. Oh. As both players will be expanding, they both take their 3rd bases. The Baneliness is on the way as well. Everything so far looking normal, everything looking mirrored. Outside of course, Solar, or I believe they trade 1-1. Yeah, they trade 1-1 in the end. Overlords, they confirm the 3rd bases from each other. And no one is skipping tech. Now, from here, we should just be droning. We'll keep an eye on either player if they do make a surge of Lings to try to go into Ling main aggression, to try to break their opponent's base or get economic damage. Otherwise, from here, we should be droning, getting into Roach production, getting into Roach v Roach. But again, we'll see if either player commits to Ling Bane. Baneliness is done. Oh, safety Baneling on the way for Solar. Reynor going for the early Evo Chamber. Let's go. Now, with an Evo Chamber this early on, this does look like +1 Carapace. This could be the beginning of a Ling Roach Ravager all-in. I should really say Ling Ravager all-in with +1 Carapace. If that's the case, fun fact, this is a build that Solar invented and Solar popularized. But show us what you got. Roach War now on the way, going to, never mind, +1 range instead, so really early +1 range. A really early upgrade timing. So Reynor can cut workers early on and try to hit with his roaches with +1. A spicy build here from Reynor. And Solar currently is unaware. Solar getting into a more standard game. Into his own roaches. Solar happily droning up. And you can see here that Reynor, he's cutting workers early. So far, Reynor, he's cutting workers at 47, up, making 1 more drone, cutting workers at 48. Solar still droning. Solar is going up to Lair. And Reynor, he's going for a hatch base all-in. No Lair, no Roach speed. Just pure Roach production and cutting workers early. So this is an all-in. Oh. Big scout though. Solar, I believe he saw. Yeah, he saw no lair. No lair. Spine crawler's on the way. He reads it perfectly here. He knows what's going on. There is no lair. There's no further tech. Now, Reynor, he does start droning up, but he still did invest quite heavily into these roaches. With these drones, Reynor, he's trying to catch up economically, but again, he's behind when it comes to his tech. So far, just one spine crawler here in between the bases. Roaches are amassing. Solar's moving in. Sorry, Reynor's moving in. Solar, he drones, does cancel the spine crawler. Yeah, he reads this well as Reynor does pull away. Now, what's important here, remember, Reynor, he was droning. So this was a fake out, that is true. But Reynor, he stops droning and he still has not made a lair. He's still making roaches. He's still going to go all in. It's just going to be a later all in instead. Now, with a bit of a better economy, it's going to hit a little bit later, but still a lot of roaches. And what's scary to me, what's concerning, is gases are on the way. Solar, he drones up to 63. Takes gases, and he's going into Spire Tech. That is not going to help. Reynor, his all-in is going to hit first, it's going to hit hard, and it might just kill Solar for trying to tech up. So Solar, he's thinking too macro. Solar is thinking too far ahead. Meanwhile, Reynor, here he comes with a massive amount of roaches. How many? 22. He's up 10 roaches, up 11 roaches compared to Solar. He has double the roach counts, and he's here to end the game. And Solar, he droned up. He droned up too much. He took gases. He took a Spire as well. In a mirror matchup, Solar, he should not be able to hold this. He has 3 spine crawlers on the way, but you can see just how few roaches Solar has. Solar trying to pull off a defense. Vials a zone away the army for a moment, but Reynor, he should just overwhelm. He should just overwhelm. Reynor, he's like, you think I would macro? Even forcing some friendly fire takes out his zone overlords. And Reynor, he has done it. He breaks the third. GG gets called, and Reynor takes game number 1. Whew, GG. And again, Solar second guessing himself. What I mean by that, remember, Solar, he saw the lack of lair. He got into the main, and when he realized an all-in was coming, he was throwing down spine crawlers. But then as time progressed, he realized, oh, you're delaying your all-in. I'm going to cancel and I'm going to drone up. He read the delayed all-in as macro, as Reynor transitioning out. And Reynor, he was droning, but he was not transitioning out of it. He was not teching. He was not getting into +2. I mean, he was not getting into a lair. He was not taking any further steps. That was a misread there from Solar. He was faked out, and GG well played. Reynor takes a lead. Reynor does take a lead. And that leads us into game number 2. Solar, again, he's got to tighten up here when it comes to either rescouting or kind of sticking to his guns. Like Solar, he saw everything he needed to see in regards to the lack of lair. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, leading the series 1-0, representing Basilisk. And 1 game away from making it further into the winner's match, it is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, with the red Zerg player himself representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Crazy mind games from Reynor there, 100%. Like, it was really well done, because if you remember, initially Reynor got scouted, and he knows it, right? He knows he got scouted, so Reynor, he faked the first push. He pulled away, selling the story that he was macroing, that he was going to try to get out of it because he got scouted, when really he just doubled down. He just doubled down, and he did fake out Solar. Did fake Solar out. And now here we go, we're getting into game 2, and we'll see. I mean, typically the way that this works, especially after what just happened in the first game, we should be seeing Solar now being the aggressor, not trying to take the initiative away from Reynor, but we'll see. We shall see. As for now, standard openers. For now, hatch gas pool. Openers are standard. And again, these are the kind of little things that we're looking for when it comes to players deviating. Remember last game, early Evo chamber. At first I was like, oh, maybe it's early +1 carapace, but no, it's +1 range, which led into a hatchery based all-in. So looking for things like that, early Evo chamber, early roach warren, early gases, late gases, anything that deviates from the norm. Otherwise, we're just going hatch gas pool, baiting the nest, third base, droning on up. So far, everything looking normal. settling in. We can take a breath, baby. Take a breath. Again, mainly my eyes are gonna be on Solar. Like typically, I expect him to reciprocate, to challenge Reynor with his own aggression, but we'll see. Likewise, I do think that Reynor is a better fit against Solar than Serral, just because Reynor is willing to go for those all-ins. Like, he's willing to be hyper-aggressive like that. Nowadays, Serral is as well, to be fair. Like, Serral, after his experiences against Solar, Serral has also adopted a more aggressive style in this matchup, which has been really cool to see the evolution of Serral's play. But Reynor has always been like that. And here we go, we have our Bailey Nest on time for Solar. Reynor skipping the nest here. Okay. Oh, actually, my apologies. Actually delayed his gases. Oh, he pulled 2 out. Interesting. So usually you only pull 1 out of gas, but Reynor pulled 2 out instead. That's why his Bailey Nest is a little bit later. This tells me that Reynor had some extra mineral income, just barely a little bit more. And that's leading into this initial Link Flood. We have 12 more Lings on the way. Reynor is being active, and we'll see what Reynor can get done. Now, the downside of this Link Flood for Reynor, as we mentioned, is a later Bailey Nest. Bailey time morphing in for Solar. The initial Link Flood has arrived. Reynor, he's droning up behind this. But we'll see if he can catch a queen, or even break the third. The third base should not go down. Solar moving in. He's got his 2 Bailings, has to make them count. Meanwhile, the base taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. And Solar, he does zone away for a moment, but the base is still getting very low. So far, nice control, doesn't waste his Bailing. Still holding on. 1 Bailing is denied. Nice control there by Reynor. And Solar, he is barely holding on. Doesn't want to waste the Bailing. Oh, 1 Bailing goes down. Down to 1 Bailing. 1 Bailing left. And Solar does hold. Ooh, it was close, but the base survives. From here, Solar is going for a faster Roach Warren. Likewise, Reynor has a slight drone advantage. Defensive Bailing's on the way. Solar gets around to the Queen. And the Queen is going to be shut down. Massive pickoff. Solar takes down the Queen, does punish Reynor, and Bailing going to be rolling in as well. Oh. As Reynor does pull away. Does pull away in time. Takes down the Bailing. And Solar's not droning. Solar, he's not droning up. I mean, I should say he did drone up to 40, but now he's got Roaches on the way. Roaches are in production. Link Flood moving out from Reynor. Solar confirms no droning here at the third. And there's only 1 defensive Bailing here for Solar. He cannot waste it. Oh! Oh my god, it's gonna go down. It's so close. 1 more shot. Ay, ay, ay. And the Bailing does fall. But the Roaches have arrived. Are they in time though? Is it enough? Reynor, he ignores the army, goes straight for the expansion. He will get a kill on the third. But the Roaches are moving out. Behind this, Reynor making defensive Roaches himself. 9 Roaches on the way. Reynor, he's on 3 bases. Reynor has a lower drone count. And Solar is re-expanding. How many Roaches? Solar, he's on 8. So is Reynor. Yeah, Reynor, he has enough. He has enough to defend. He should be able to hold on. And Solar is licking his wounds, getting to a lair, taking another expansion. Solar is droning up. And Solar, you can see he's just posturing. He pokes in. He pulls away. Solar does pull away. Reynor has a very nice advantage here. What I will say is that despite that, Reynor, he wasn't droning. He delayed his droning because he was terrified of the all-in, an all-in that did not occur. This is a big part of ZvZ, is kind of using your opponent's vision against them. What I mean by that, ZvZ is a unique matchup where you see everything. On the map, I should say. We have all these overlords, so whenever there's a move out, you see it. Whenever there's reinforcements, you see that as well. It's a little bit harder to see droning though, and because that Solar, he was droning up behind this. He was droning on up. Reynor, he delayed his droning because he was respecting the push. So it was a fake out attack from Solar. And we're just droning. We're just droning up from here. Reynor, he does out-drone his opponent slightly, but both players still just saturating. Bailing run by is attempted, getting 3 drones. Solar getting ready for his own run by. Solar likewise was able to get a faster lair into faster roach speed, +1 range also on the way. These upgrades are much faster here for Solar. Upgrades are on point. Solar joining up just under a 3 base economy. Does stay on 5 gases. And does stay at 54 workers. And it looks like Solar, he does want to hit that timing with +1 and with roach speed. Solar is building up. And he's getting ready for his push. Behind this, Reynor, he did drone up slightly more. So Reynor, he's been a little bit greedier. He's been droning. And remember, late lair and late upgrades for Reynor. So this timing is going to hit quite hard for Solar. Not just that, he will have the upgrade advantage. He also has faster reinforcements. Solar, he's going to push. And now he finally drones behind the move out. And the Overseer should have seen the lack of saturation. Lack of droning. Spine Crawler's on the way. Reynor, he knows he's at a disadvantage. Throwing down 2 more spines. Does catch one of the Ravagers. Nice start. Nice start there from Reynor. Solar starts stepping in. Oh. Pile does not connect. The Solar does force his way up the ramp. Files a zone back the army. Getting 3 shots off. Queen goes down. Yeah, better engage here from Solar. Waiting for those files. Once again, zoning back the army. But with the defender's advantage, Reynor, does he have enough? It looks like he barely might. Yeah, that Spine Crawler putting in a lot of work. At the same time, Solar slips into the bases. Does slip in. Catching reinforcements. Getting a queen, getting a roach, denying mining time, and Solar backs off. Solar, he doesn't break Reynor, but remember, Solar, he did drone. He did drone up. Solar now has a higher worker count, getting another expansion, and he also has a stronger +2 timing. So Solar, he does have a lead. He's ahead in upgrades, ahead in economy. Reynor trying to keep up. Does scout the 4th. And not bad, he does catch a couple of drones. Couple workers do go down. Ooh, a little bit risky here. Reynor is going for the Spire, going into Mutas. Meanwhile, we have Tunneling Claws and Burrow on the way for Solar. Solar just doubling down on Mass Roach. He knows he has the advantage. He's looking to move in. Solar is rotating. Does rotate, does respond. Files they zone away the army for a moment. Likewise, 3 Spine Crawlers in position to hold on. And Solar, he cannot break through. At the same time, though, here come those Tunneling Claw Roaches. They unburrow in the natural. Drones are going down. And Solar, he does have the greater concave here. Still pushing in. A couple of Roaches they burrow into the main. Spire is on the way, but Reynor's being caught with his pants down. Solar, he's maxed out. GG gets called, and Solar, he avoids Reynor, tying up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. Reynor with a stronger start, by the way. Reynor, I was very impressed. He was able to kill the expansion, able to get ahead production-wise. But if you remember, Reynor, he was terrified about an all-in that didn't come early on. Remember, Solar, he kind of faked out aggression. He did push, that is true, but Solar was droning up behind it. He was saturating his bases, and more importantly, he had faster lair, faster +1 range as well. And also, when it came to that +1 timing that Solar went for, outside of out-trading his opponent, he was then able to maintain a greater economy and just double down, getting to Tunneling Claw Roaches as well. Reynor, he took a chance, took a risk going into Spire play, but it's always risky going into Mutas because you do leave yourself vulnerable. You're spending resources, you're spending money on something that isn't Roaches. And if your opponent's passive, you can get away with it. If your opponent's aggressive, it's difficult to get away with those Mutas. GG. GG, well played. So Reynor, he gets punished, attempting to go into Muta play, attempting to go into Spire play. And with that, we're now getting into the ace match. One way or the other, the series ends here and now. Loading into Maganatha, oh my god. Loading into the largest map in the map pool. Because it's so large, I would imagine both players would want to go into Muta play, but because both players would want to go into Mutas, then maybe more Roach aggression is more effective. We'll see. We shall see a spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha. We have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And yo, a big shout to Silly Dobby in the chat. Papi God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the subscription. Do apologize for not giving you attention at the time during the game, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we are jumping into our ace match. Let's go. Jumping into the ace match, and again, welcome to Maganatha. As we mentioned before, this is the largest map in the tournament map pool. You do not get larger than Maganatha. Because of that, aggression is going to be more difficult to pull off. I'm referring to roach aggression, and muta play is going to be favored. Because of that, we could see both players. I mean, both game 1 and game 2, we saw Solar and Reynor respectively try to go into their Inspire play, try to go into their own mutas. We could see muta versus muta here on Maganatha. Otherwise, as I mentioned, we could see our players try to kill each other before that occurs with roaches. So we'll see. We'll see what the plan is coming into this ace match. So selling into our game so far, just Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Solar, likewise standard opener out of Reynor as well. When it comes to the openers in our ZvZ so far, everything has been standard. We haven't really seen much deviation outside of last game. True, when Reynor did pull 2 out of gas. You're not wrong, you're not wrong. I did forget that for a moment, but yes, last game we did see Reynor pull 2 out of gas. That's why he went for the initial Link Flood. That's why his Baneliness was late. This time he only pulls out 1. So this time there's no shenanigans here, there's no earlier Link Flood. So far everything is looking mirrored between our players. But just winding back, as a reminder, last game Reynor, he pulled 1 extra out of gas, which meant that he had more minerals for extra lings. It meant that his Baneliness was late, but with that Link Flood he did eventually break the 3rd base of Solar. True. Did pull that off. Behind this, here come those Baneliness. So far, both players are mirrored. They do mirror each other. 3rd bases are being taken. We're just joining up from here. And again, this might be the game where we just play standard and we get into roaches on time. We don't go for a past Evo chamber. We don't commit into Lingbane aggression. If there were a map to play standard and macro on, it would be Maganatha. Link speed slightly faster for Solar. He does catch out 1, does catch out 1 link. Bit of a misclick there. Oh, never mind. Early Evo chamber out of Reynor. We'll see if he goes for a carapace or a range. Would be indicative of what's to come. Would be indicative here. Likewise, Roach runs on the way for Solar. Neither player makes a wave of Zerglings, and there it is. Plus 1 carapace. Let's go. He's going for the Solar. Let's go for the Solar build. Now, plus 1 carapace screams Ling Ravager. It does scream all in here. I believe this does hit on Hatch Tech. We'll see if Reynor gets a lair alongside this. But carapace, of course, does impact both Zerglings, Roaches, and Ravagers. As Solar does get 2 drone kills. Not bad. Gets 2 workers, pulls away. Remember earlier Roach production out of Solar. Roach is already on the way here for our Red Zerg. That's actually a lot of Roaches. Solar cutting workers early at 41. Cutting workers at 41. Solar just amassing up Roaches real fast and real quick. Bailey's they roll in. Queen gets surrounded. Oof. Baneling goes off, takes down a couple of Lings, no major connections with the Banelings, but regardless, nice pickoffs here from Solar, and this is all the setup for what's to come, the setup for the all-in, as roaches are revealed, and here he comes. And Reynor, he just droned. Reynor, he just made workers. Spine Coil is being thrown down. He needs those spines. That's the only way to defend, and even then, it's going to be a tough hold here for Reynor. As Solar has a massive army lead. I say that 9 roaches on the way. True. 9 roaches are on the way for Reynor. He's getting there, but he needs more time. And the Spine Coolers, are they too late on the roaches? I think it's surrounded. Banelings takes one back. Meanwhile, Solar crashes into the mineral line. It takes care of the roaches, takes care of the Banelings, I should say. And Reynor is getting caught with his pants down. The pants are down, Bappy. Solar is going in for the kill. Spine Coolers, they're not ready. Another queen falls, gets 1 transfuse. And again, Reynor does have the defensive edge, but Lings, they come in to reinforce. DC Solar, he settles for the 3rd, he doesn't like what he sees. Solar does pull away. Once again, collapsing on those roaches. Nice kiting here from Reynor. Does kite well, but here comes the surround. Yeah, locks down the roach army. And Solar, it looks like he has done it. He has caught Reynor with his pants down again. Reynor, he droned up too hard. He was getting ready for a later timing. Plus on Carapace is factoring in. But these losses are brutal. As Reynor, he's down to 3 roaches. Now down to 2. Still trickling in with a handful of roaches. Still is trickling in. But these are still just more efficient trades, more efficient trades here from Solar. Catching out reinforcements, collapsing on the roaches. Trading with his Lings, and behind the Solar, he drones. He drones, Lair is on the way. Solar, he escapes with the roaches. Takes down the 3rd. And with that, Solar is in a much stronger position. Reynor, when it comes to his scouting, he only realized the low drone count a little bit too late. If you remember, he saw the roaches as they were popping out, and then he threw down the Spine Coolers. The Spine Coolers, they were late as a result. Also, remember, Reynor, he made 5 drones as the all-in was happening, as it was moving out. So just a really rough time to drone, and just overall, just a late scout from Reynor. When I say late scouts, I mean by a couple of seconds as well, which, I mean, shows how intense ZvZ can be. And from here, Solar's looking quite comfortable. There is a chance that Reynor could try to catch him with an all-in, but at the same time, Solar, he already has a Lair. The Lair is already done. He's getting into +1 range. He's already getting into roach speed. Lair is still finishing up for Reynor. So Reynor, he's behind in bases, behind in economy, behind in tech, behind in almost everything. Reynor, he does not have enough. And as long as Solar isn't too greedy, he should be fine. And you can see here that Solar, he's not even fully saturating his 3rd. He doesn't need to. He knows he's up a base. He knows that droning up and fully saturating the 3rd base is a way to get himself killed. So now he does drone in the midst of all these roaches, of course. So he makes sure he's secure with this roach army first, then he drones up. Likewise, waiting for his upgrades. Now here comes the move out. Solar up 50 supply, 50 plus supply even. And he will be ahead in upgrades. And yes, Reynor, he will have +1 carapace, with +1 range. It is more valuable here in roach versus roach. He does have the overwhelming army. Likewise, just forcing his way in. GG gets called, and Solar, he will take down Reynor 2-1, advancing on to the winners match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense, very chaotic ZvZ here between Reynor and Solar. At no point did we ever get standard ZvZ. When I say standard, I mean getting into a 3rd base, droning, getting into roach versus roach on a more stable economy. That never happened. Whether it was Reynor or Solar, we had very often players cutting workers, rushing into earlier upgrades, earlier roach play, delayed lairs, and just more aggression from both Reynor and Solar. They took turns. They did take turns. In the end, Solar did come out on top. Again, as you mentioned, mentioned here in the final game, Reynor, he just had a late scout as to what was going on. Remember, when he realized that Norland was coming, he had already made 5 drones. There were 5 workers in production. On top of that, the spine callers were late as well. It was just a late scout of the all-in, a late reaction. GG, well played. With that, Solar does claim the win, and we are now getting ready for the second half of the broadcast. We've had purely ace matches so far. Exclamation mark, what? There's no bracket command, as of course is a replay broadcast. Well, let us switch our scenes over and catch up on our matches so far and the matches to come. From the top, Cure takes down SOS 2-1, and Solar takes down Reynor 2-1. We've had purely ace matches so far, back and forth in their own way. But up next, we have the winners match and the elimination match. We have Cure versus Solar to determine the first player to make it out of Group A into the next round, and we also have the elimination match, the first player to be eliminated from the group stage 1, from the group stage of GSL. So a TVZ and a ZVP to continue, and likewise after that we have the decider match. That's going to be the loser of the winners match and the winner of the elimination match. For that, decided to determine the final player out of Group A. Let's go. So no one has been eliminated yet. If you're a Reynor fan, if you're an SOS fan, they're still in the group. They still have another chance. For now, though, we are going to be going on a short break. We are halfway through the broadcast. We need a moment to set up the matches, set up the best ofs, and when we come back, TVZ between Cure and Solar. Let's go. Is coming up next after the break. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon.